It is Alexa Hampton. Welcome to 52 Weeks Live. We are going live today, again, with Jan, sweet Jan Showers, because it didn't record last time, which is a travesty. So, I'm going to do my usual nonsense where I try to figure out how to do this, even though I've done it so many times I should know by now. Hi everybody. There we go. Nope, that's a comment. Guys, how is it possible that every week I forget how to do this? Jan Showers, where are you? And that's another thing. Is everybody like me in that you sing? There we go. Go showers when you're nervous. You're like, ooh, gotta feel it.
Okay.
Jan Showers. She, the beauty, you have to come closer. You're far too, everybody needs to fall into the limpid pools of your eyes.
Oh my God. Okay, is that good?
Yes, that is good.
Is that good?
Thank you so much for doing this again. It was a strange Instagram day when
Yeah.
last we did it. It went completely.
You and I had no idea. We thought it was all fine.
I frequently feel that way about many things.
Me too. I agree. Oh, well, there's lots more to talk about today.
So much more. And you know what's great about reaching a certain age is that you forget everything you heard. So you can tell me things again and I will be astonished anew.
I remember nothing that we talked about.
Okay, good.
I mean, I think we probably talked about my book in Kips Bay because, timing, and that's still something we need to talk about.
Yeah, we have to talk about Kips Bay. We have to talk about books. We have to talk about product. But I always love to begin these things by asking, how did you get started in this business? Where are you from and how did it all start?
Yes. Well, I actually started just sort of organically because my mother and my grandmother were just amazing designers, really. They weren't real designers, but they were.
Oh, wait, that's a terrible thing to say.
Well, they weren't because they didn't.
I mean, they weren't employed as designers.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct, yes. But they both had amazing taste, and I sort of grew up with that. And I also got to sit in on designer or decorator talks that my mother would have with her designers. In those days, they were known as decorators. And
yes, and still.
I still like that word, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're both good. So I did that. I when I was little, I mean, very little, and I was making magazines when I was little, and then I decided I was going to be a movie star.
And why wouldn't you? If one looks in the mirror and has not looking back at them, the first response would be, well, I should be a movie star.
I love movies. I still love movies. And so I was always going to movies. And I was always pretending I was somebody. And so I told my father, I said, look, I'm going to be an actress. And he said, sister, you already are an actress. And he said, let me tell you, you're going to go to college and major in business. And this was kind of revolutionary.
Yeah, that's avant-garde.
Time. Yeah, it was avant-garde. I was like the only girl in most of my business classes, and it was fun. I loved it. Yeah. And I learned a lot, and I was always asked to tutor the boys in my class, which I didn't do. But anyway, it was really a fun thing. And so I did that, and so I got a great background, and I got out of school, and I got married. And so then I had 2 children, and the rest is sort of history. That's all I did for about 10.
That's all you did? Last time I checked, that's plenty.
No. So what I'm also doing is decorating my house. And of course, I was helping my mom with hers, and we were both helping each other. Anyway, and so one day, the mayor of the small town where I was living and grew up, that's where I am today, actually, he said, listen, I want you to come do my house. And he had a fabulous historic house, but I'm paying you to do it because I've been doing everybody's houses, you know. This is just kind of what you did, you know.
Yeah.
And so anyway.
Very genteel.
Yes, exactly. Very genteel. And so I was loving everything I did. It didn't matter to me. And then he said, I'll pay you. And I thought, well, that sounds pretty good. I think I'll do that, you know. So I did it and I went to his house and we had the best time. And I did his house for years and years and years. And then it just snowballed from there. And I had a lot of friends in Dallas and they said, oh, you're decorating. You can come to our house now. So then,
how old were your kids at this point?
At that point, let's see, I was 35. So Susanna was 10 and Elizabeth was 5.
Okay, so
Elizabeth
again, way ahead of the curve there.
Yeah. So I was, late coming to the game, but not really. Just late starting to get paid.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah. So that's how I started, and it was really it just grew and grew fast, honestly. And then I still wanted my children to be first, and so I would tell people, look, when I take your job, this is going to be, I may call you and say they have one-act play, they have cheerleading, I've got to go take them to do this, because that was really my first priority.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
terrible.
Well, this was also another time. My children are now, I don't want to say how old because then people will start adding up.
14 and
yeah. Right. Right, sure. So anyway, but it was fun. And then toward the end of my younger daughter's years in high school, we had 2 daughters like you and your sister. It was wonderful. And so toward the end of her time in high school, my work was really full time. It really was, I have to be honest. And so I was still trying to do both things, I was trying to keep everything balanced. And then when
did you ever achieve balance? Because I find that that's like a rumor.
It's impossible.
It's a rumor. It
it's
doesn't
impossible.
exist.
It's just impossible. So it is a rumor. So anyway, then it just took off, and then I opened my shop in the mid-90s in Dallas, and that was a great thing that I did because it was just, I don't know, it just made so many things happen. It really did.
I remember seeing advertisements for Jan Shower's furniture, and I think like mirrored pieces, maybe even lucite.
Back in the 90s,
and it was very, somebody just said, I love Jan Shower's glam interiors, and that's very much was my impression.
What do you do when someone tries to call you?
You just
say decline.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's very not, we don't worry about this.
Yeah, we don't worry.
That was my husband. I think he's forgotten. I told him what I had to do.
or somebody's showing him how beautiful you look, and he wants to come up immediately and take you in his arms.
I doubt that. But anyway, so no, and so it was just from then on.
So when you started that shop, you started making your own pieces. How'd you do that?
No, that's not what I did. What I did.
See, I really did forget everything.
What I did first was all antiques and vintage. I started going to Paris, and I loved it so much. I was going 3 and 4 times a year. Mm-hmm. And I was, at that time, it was fun. I was bringing back a 20-foot container each time. And then after several years of that, it kind of got to the point where maybe that's too many times to go.
Yeah. It's a lot of inventory.
Back off and get, bigger containers. So I started doing that. But then about 1999, I did start a furniture manufacturing business, which was really something I did not know anything about, other than we were already making pieces in our workrooms for our clients. That's a different story. That's quite different than
they're one-offs. You don't have to worry about many things. It's easy to quality control anything.
Yeah, everything's easy. So this started, and then it snowballed, and I got in 8 showrooms really fast. I mean, like all over the United States, all the best showrooms, and we had growing pains. We had some little, hiccups, but all in all, I guess looking back on it, it went well, and it's always been successful, which is great.
That is great.
And but manufacturing is a different ball game than designing, decorating, and selling antiques.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know anything about it since I license.
Yeah,
I do my
I
designs
think
that
that's
somebody
too.
else manufactures.
Yes, yes,
I'm too scared of what you did.
yes. Well, I didn't know to be scared. I was just too stupid to be scared. So, anyway, I'm doing licensing. I've been doing licensing for the last 7 years, I guess. And I really like that so much. It's great. It's great. It's a lot easier. But I can't give up now because you get accustomed to what you want to do and design, and then people want it. And I don't know. It's kind of like how do you stop?
Has coronavirus slowed you down at all?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Uh, I'm surprised at how good our sales are, but showrooms are off, and my antique showroom has actually been busy, but we're now selling transactionally online, and that a lot of sales are for
That makes
antique
sense to me.
and vintage. Yes,
And because
are
you can just
selling
get it
online.
right then and there.
Yeah, you get it right then and there. So that's not slowed down, but the other part has. Now,
If
the
people want to go
design,
see that, is that janshowers.com? Where do they go to look at your stores?
they just go to janshowers.com and they can see everything there. They can see everything in the furniture collection, which is new, and they can see
And with
everything.
whom is your furniture collection?
It's with Sutherland, Ainsworth Noah, and Profiles in New York.
Sure.
And then we're
I
now.
love Profile. I love 200 Legs.
I do too. I love Profiles. It's great. And so, so we're with those, and then we are now selling direct in California. We decided to do that, California and Florida, and where else? Somewhere else. Several markets we're selling direct. I'm sorry.
So what does that mean? You just
We're
white
we're
glove transport?
not going to showrooms. We are calling on designers who have bought from us for years and just selling directly to them, which I think is a pretty smart thing.
Now, could any designer call you up and say, I'd like to commission this? Or, I mean, you could not notionally do that with anybody.
Yeah, the thing is with commissions, we basically we customize every piece we have. But as far as commissions are concerned, like, oh, I'm dreaming up this piece and I don't know this person over here who's dreaming it up. No.
Okay, good to know.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, customizing is one thing. We do that all the time. We make things larger, smaller, deeper, wider, whatever, but it's just a different ball game when you start customizing. Someone's sending you a drawing. Yeah.
What does your family think of your business?
I think they can't believe it, actually.
Isn't that great?
I got a note from my older daughter last week, who you would absolutely love. I think y'all are probably same age bracket. I think you're a little younger. And she, anyway,
Don't be too short.
She said some things to me. Well, I think so, but anyway, she said some things to me that were so nice, and I called her, and she made me cry. And she said it was about, I guess, how proud she was of me. Yeah. My husband doesn't say those words, but I think he is.
That's interesting because your daughter made you cry, and today I made my daughter cry.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But it wasn't happy. I just made her
Trust
cry.
me.
Now I'm feeling guilty and terrible.
Oh boy, I've made mine cry before too. Yeah. Especially as you have teenagers, right?
Well, the boys are, but my daughter, even though she's 12, she's been a teenager for at least 2 years, in my opinion.
Yes. That's exactly how my older one was, the one who made me cry.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, but it's enjoy the years you have now, because then when they leave and go to college,
Absolutely.
it's different. But
So,
I've been lucky. I've been so busy. So,
yeah. Any of them show interest? And would
Susanna,
that be good for you or would that be terrible?
no, no. Actually, my older daughter Susanna worked for me, and she is really good. I mean, she is excellent. Elizabeth's a jewelry designer. She's now taken up something else because she just got sick of it after 20 years.
Sure.
It was the fashion industry, and having to constantly, like, how many collections a year.
Yeah, I find that pressure. I think, we have 2 markets a year, and
uh,
that seems perfect.
that's enough.
But to have to do the 4 and every year a whole new, and
Oh,
yeah, ours carry
yeah,
over. You can have
yeah.
like a great classic that's
Oh, yeah.
forever
And
wrapped.
you keep it in there. You keep it in
Hmm.
your collection, and you add to it. Yeah, it's totally different. But anyway, my older daughter loves design. Yes, she absolutely loves it. And she worked for me for several years when her children were younger. But she has 3, and as they got older, she she didn't handle as well. Yeah, I know there's going to be problems. I know she was more worried about the problems. She said it
Sure.
just wasn't something that it made her
Yeah,
crazy.
there's a lot of anxiety in so many
Yeah,
businesses, and
yeah, you have to have a certain personality, I think, to do what you and I do.
yeah, you mean like be insane.
Be insane, not be so worried about just know that things are going to work out. Know that you're going to get. It's a problem solving situation always.
So when you think about your business, do you think that you have been drawn to it? Obviously it's in your blood and you love design,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
has it been about inspiration and art and, the creation of art, or have you felt like more business driven? Like where are your sweet spots?
Well, my sweet spot is really the design part. I love to put a room together. That's my favorite thing to do. I mean, if I had to take
It's
away
definitely the most
anything
fun.
else, that's what I like to do. I like to put a room together. I do like to design what goes in it too. If I mean, I want
Right,
antique.
if given the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I really love. That's my love. And
What
everything.
are what are some of your favorite rooms, historic rooms? Like who, designers and
Oh gosh. Well, Francis
I know
Elkins.
sometimes if you don't know that question's coming, like the brain
Well,
can go blank.
no. I can tell you, Francis Elkins. And I remember you asking me this last time, and I remember what I said to you because I meant every word of it. She did some classic rooms in Lake Forest that her brother David Adler, where he designed the house, that were fabulous and still stand the test of time if you look at the images. And your
So,
father. I mean, I'm serious. If you really look at my rooms, you will see a lot of influence there. I have
yeah,
all of his books. I tell people when they're going to buy books, you need to find Mark Hampton's books because he tells you what to do.
that's so wonderful. You
Yeah,
certainly told me what to do.
I know. And you know what I
Yeah,
regret? I was so thrilled when I met you, but I really regret that I never met him. That's
I feel you. I feel
that.
that. I feel that especially for my children. But
I know. I know.
and I've mentioned this before on these programs. Obviously because I'm in the field, we are surrounded by decorators all the time, or
Yeah.
architects, and they'll hear stories about him from other people, and
Hmm.
it will make them angry because they're like, well, it's our grandfather. Like everybody else knew him. It pisses them off.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I could see that. I never thought of
Funny.
that. But they must
But
be they must be terribly proud of him.
yeah, well, I mean, they're
And
also at
he
that age where they're only interested in modern design.
Oh, right. Right.
They'll, I mean, they say that, but they love our apartment. But who
Uh-huh.
knows? Maybe they're secretly,
Uh-huh.
going to be Frank Gehry's or something.
Well, think about this. You're their mom. You're a wonderful designer. You design everything. And So naturally, they're teenagers. They're going. I took a lot of adolescent psychology for some reason in college, and I'll tell you, they're going to do whatever it may make you a little irritated, probably.
Oh no, but I mean, I hate it when they're like, "Well, mommy, we like modern design," as though I don't.
I know.
You know, of course, I
know.
love modern design.
Of course, you love
just because I might not feel that I'm the best person to do it, does not
Mhm.
mean that I don't walk into a modern room and not
Right.
love the bits.
Me too. Me
So,
too.
where are you right now? You're in Texas?
I'm in. Oh yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
Texas.
you're
I'm at our country house. I was in Dallas the last 4 days, and now I'm back here for a couple of days, and I'll go back to Dallas.
And you're being very careful.
I'm being very, very careful. I was at Kips Bay.
Yeah, tell us about doing a show house during this moment.
Yes, that has been. I'll tell you what happened, because everybody had such a challenge. You should see that show house. Have you seen the images of it?
I sure have.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And Texas was like such a perfect place to have done a show house.
Perfect. And I have to tell you, Jamie Drake was there. He was so wonderful to come down. And he came down, and we spent a lot of time together, had so much fun together last week. And he honestly, he said it was literally one of the best show houses he'd ever seen. He was not just saying that. And I believe him.
I believe him too.
You walk through that house, and it's pretty amazing. I haven't missed a Kips Bay in New York, but I think 2 years in the last 25 maybe, because I always go. And I have to say, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. We had 105 submissions. And I'll tell you, that was hard to get 27.
To whittle it, yeah. How many designers are in the show house?
27.
Okay.
27. And so 2 of those are landscape, so front and back. And because there, of course, you have all that. It's a large property. That house was perfect for a show house. It was really.
And does somebody live in it, or are they trying to sell it?
No, they had leased it. They had moved into a more modern house. Talking about modern, and they'd moved into a more modern house. It was a famous house in Dallas. It was built in the 50s, and they had been leasing it. It was dated. It needed to be updated.
Sure.
But it had good bones, and there wasn't so much demo that it was going to be horrible for everybody. But still, having COVID as a challenge to get everything done, I think made everybody bring their A game big time. It's just really, really, it's really cool. It really is.
And I'm feeding you these questions, this particular question I answer, but how does one see the show house if not in Texas?
There is a virtual piece that we have that you go to Kips Bay website, and you will find it's $20, because if you go to the house.
Yeah.
And there are also a lot of still photographs, which I actually like too, of the house. So you can see it several different ways, and of course it's going to be.
And maybe you should do both, but definitely going to the website and looking at it and giving the $20 donation, which is really important.
So great.
Really
and
important.
If you want to donate more than that, you can. Whoever's watching, whoever wants to give more than that, you're welcome to do so. So, no, but it's really wonderful. And we've had big crowds, and everybody's masked. Everybody is being very careful. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. The house is cleaned down at night. They only let so many in at a time. It's been handled very, very well. Of course,
good.
Nazira Handel from New York is amazing, and she's been
Nazira is a goddess.
I know, she's a goddess. That's what
How she runs, Palm Beach, New York, Texas show houses, has a family.
I know.
I
know. She's unbelievable, and she stays on top of it too. I really could not have. I could not have been a co-chair without her. I mean,
she's the hardest working woman in show business.
she is. Yeah, you're right. She's the hardest working woman. Absolutely. No, she is. And she's darling, by the way.
And she's darling and gorgeous. It's very irritating. She's
Gorgeous.
Very irritating.
Very gorgeous. Yeah.
So what is next for you? What are you working on? What are you excited about?
Really, really, really getting ready for an installation in Lake Forest. And I think you and I might have talked about that. Do you have one coming up in Lake Forest too?
I just installed in Winnetka.
Winnetka.
And
okay.
I have a homeowner in Lake Forest whom I adore. And we are doing some new things there. But that's really new.
Yeah. Well, now we've been working on this house for, actually, it's a huge house. It's an estate that was designed by Harry Lindbergh. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
We can talk about it. Yeah, I love Harry Lindbergh.
It's a dream. Me too. It's a dream house. And my client is a dream client. So it's kind of like one of those things that you just are thrilled about. You're like, hey. Yeah. And so we've done it in fairly record time, especially considering during COVID, because we started last year. And normally for something this large, it's a very large, it is an estate. It's not, I'm not just saying it's an estate. It is an estate.
Sure. Capital E estate.
That's correct. Yes. As so many houses in Lake Forest are.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's coming up in 2 weeks. 3 weeks. We've had, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't hear you.
Somebody was trying to call me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you're starting installing in 2 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
I missed. Yeah, 3 weeks. But we'll be loading trucks.
How are you going to get there?
I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out.
How long would it take to drive?
That's not an option. I'm not driving.
I'm not an alarmist.
I know.
But I was supposed to go to Chicago right after Labor Day, and I canceled the trip because I thought, I don't want to be in the first wave after Labor Day with all the people going back to school.
Oh, I think you're smart. Well, and I'm certainly over 60. So I'm well over 60. So I don't really want to take any chances. And there will be a second installation because there's just going to be so much else we have to do. So what?
Yeah, I FaceTimed during the beginning of one installation I did over COVID, and like when the rugs were going down and things that were pretty obvious and programmatic.
Right.
And then
that's what we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about doing exactly the same thing. Yeah, where I could FaceTime, and my client's so lovely and understanding. She really, and she doesn't want me to, take chances either. So my team will go down there, up there probably. It's a really short flight. It's not from Dallas to Chicago straight up, so it's easy. But anyway, we'll see. I'm pretty sure that I'll go the second go round, which will probably be early next year. And I'm hoping by then things are a little different. What do you think?
Of course. I don't know. I wish I did.
I know, me too. I wish I did.
I mean, obviously none of us knows, but the situation with our children, I just feel that stress of, obviously wanting them to be there in person for their sake, but that concern that we all have across the country of, are we going to have to yank them out at any minute and figure this out? We'll figure it out. I mean, we're alive.
And the therapeutics have apparently gotten better, and not as many people. It's horrible that any people.
Yeah, that none of us want to get in this position.
Yeah, not as many supposedly. So I mean, yeah.
I am, having just said all of that, I am going to market.
Oh, you are?
And I might actually, Celia, I'm going to tell Celia she shouldn't go because she's, Celia Roge, who we both love, is one of my best friends.
Absolutely.
Brilliant photographer.
I know.
And we were saying last time, I think, you sell her photographs
Oh
in
yes,
your
in my
store,
shop, yeah. Mhm.
and they fly off the walls, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable, off the walls. I mean, everyone loves her work.
And it's also, you know, in the vein of Struth and Massimo Listri, and the idea of having what
Yes,
so many people have are modern houses, or certainly not necessarily historic capital E estates, and
right.
have her photographs, which are these incredible. I mean, she does so many different things, but the ones that you and
Yes,
I know that we do a lot
yeah.
of
You and I
are
both.
these historic
Yeah,
interiors, and
yeah.
it's such a punch in the arm
I know.
in a room that lacks architecture. It creates such a tension.
It's incredible.
It's
It's
incredible.
incredible.
And
And we
depth
all
for a
have those
small
rooms.
room.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she's amazing. So she was going to, she offered to come to market with me because we always make it like a girls' trip.
I
Her
know.
name is Celia, Celia Roge. That's the American pronunciation. She's German. It's Rogge. She has
Yeah.
great Instagram. Go check it out. I
Yeah.
have tons of her work.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Um,
She's beautiful inside and out too.
yeah,
Love her.
yeah.
Love.
So I'm planning on going to market, and then I assume I just have to quarantine when I get back. Like I'll
When
drive
is
back to Southampton alone.
right? When is market?
It's next week.
Oh, I'm
It's
I'm
it's the
surprised they're having.
15th. Or I think it might start earlier, but I'm going on the 15th to the 19th.
I'm surprised they're having it.
So what?
I'm surprised they're having it.
Well,
That's a
I'm
lot of
not
people.
sure to what extent. I have a lot of new product coming out.
Uh-huh.
So it may, you know, if there aren't a lot of people there, there's certainly stuff for us to do, like film.
Yes.
You know, filming pieces, explaining
That's
them.
what you can
So,
do.
you know,
Yeah.
people have to be able now to, you know, when I go online and I see a piece of furniture,
Yeah.
you know, it's the beauty shot, but then you want to see it in context to make sure it's what you
Yes.
think it is.
Yes. Of course. Of course.
When you display in your shop, do you try to
Uh-huh.
create an interior that's representative of your design work, or do you merchandise it for the space?
No, it is all done. I have 12 vignettes in my showroom. It's 6,000 square feet. I have 12 vignettes, and so they're all done like rooms. I have people come in and say, "I like that room. I think I want
Wrap it up.
that room." Yeah, yeah, we do.
It's amazing.
I know, I know. It's great.
And describe your houses, your main
Oh,
residence
I
and the
will.
tiny house.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the house I'm in now is an hour out of Dallas in a small town called Hillsboro.
Uh-huh.
And it is where I grew up, and I absolutely love being here. And we're on a property that is in town, but it's on 3 or 4 acres. I think it's 3.5 acres. So it's a big piece of property that goes from one place to the other, street to the other. And it is a beautiful colonial that was built in pre-war, built in 1938. And it was my husband's idea that we would live here to begin with, which I couldn't believe.
Where was he
And
from?
he was from the Rio Grande Valley in
The
Texas.
where? Oh,
Rio
okay.
Grande Valley, in the very tip of Texas.
Mhm.
So anyway, and so he's an attorney, and he really liked and was friends with an attorney here that the man wanted him to go into business with him. So I said, well, I'll move back there because I love my family, but only if we can get this house. And it wasn't for sale. And he said, well, it's not for sale now. And I said, and remember, he's just out of law school. So
You're like throwing up hurdles for him already.
I'm like, I just wanted him to know right off the bat that that's what I
The
wanted
expectations of him that you had.
those were my expectations. Yeah. And so anyway, so we got another house. It was really a darling house on the same street. I grew up on this street. We bought a house on this street down in the 900 block, and then ended up here. So I've always lived on Tart Drive, which is really sad in a way.
No.
But
It
I
is
love
not.
it. It's great for me. I love it. But I mean, when I tell somebody that story, it's like, wow. But I have traveled a lot, so
Yeah.
it's not as though I haven't been anywhere. But anyway, and so we lived in that house for 3.5 years, and this house came up for sale right after we come back from a 6-week trip to Europe.
How were either of you? You didn't have kids yet.
We had one, but my mother was like the best babysitter.
Yes,
My
of course.
father was a doctor, so it's kind of like, it was a
Built-in freedom.
Yes, and my daughter loved being there, and they lived right down the street, so that worked out great. And we just, because we really didn't have a big honeymoon when we were first married, we had a small one, so this was kind of making up for that. And we got back, but we just spent a lot of money, right? And so my mother said, the Mara house is for sale. And I said, oh, really? Now?
Should have shaved down that trip a little.
Next year. And she said, I think you better get your hands on it if you want it. So anyway, long story short, we did get it. And it was the best thing we ever did. So very early on, we got this house, and it's pretty fabulous. It really is.
And how is it decorated on the inside? You want to give us a little look-see?
Do you want me to walk around?
No, I mean I don't want to give you a task.
Did you see what I did? I went, do you want me to walk around?
I know you're like,
I mean, I could. It looks pretty good.
No. But I want to hear how it's different from your city house.
Oh yeah, it's different. Okay, so this house is decorated with a lot of antiques that I've found in Paris, obviously, in France. It's a little more. Some people would laugh at this. I think it's a little more country. A little more
than your city house. Less urban.
I don't have any country French. I don't like country French at all. That's not one of my favorites. I don't like it because what can you do with it, really? You can't mix it. I like to mix things up, I mean, you can't, what do you do with it? It's really difficult. So anyway, and that was a huge thing in Dallas, by the way, when I first started. And I was like, we got to get away from this, Anyway, so I'm looking at some really beautiful chairs. I love chairs. I've got a bunch of really gorgeous chairs in here. And, I've got chintzes on some things. And I've got, I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like a room your dad might have done. It does. Seriously, I'm not kidding. It's a yellow living room, but it's not yellow. It's a golden yellow. It's a Donald Kaufman. It's a real complicated color.
Did you say it's Donald Kaufman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his paints.
I think it's 20, maybe. Am I right about that? 20? Don't hold me to that. I'll look it up. The dining room is Donald Kaufman. I believe 12. It's a gray. I like yellow and gray together.
Yeah. Hot and cold.
Hot and cold. And I love the chairs I found them, they're original. They were from the 40s and they're Louis XVI style, but they have the original dirty yellow leather upholstery, and I had it refurbished. I had to have it refurbished. And then I have an Andre Arbus chandelier that Andre Arbus did for Barovier in there. I mean, hey, I've been going to buy all this stuff for 25 years regularly. I'm going to have some good stuff, Alexa. Right? Yeah. I'm not going to act like I don't.
And before First Dibs started making it easy to ship. I mean, it was very brave of you to go and ship containers back.
I still do.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. Because I buy, probably 60% for my clients, and the other 40% is for designers, primarily because I'm in the design district.
Right.
So that's kind of there's a wonderful room that has, all these rooms are in my book. We need to.
Yes, let's talk about your book. Yes. Your beautiful book.
Let's mention, okay.
Yes, so when did it come out?
It came out last week, officially, and it came out, I think we got them on Wednesday. I know I was signing books because we're selling the books on my website. And so you can get a signed book.
Yeah, everybody needs to go to Jan's website because obviously
Yeah.
there's like prongs of different things that they should
Lots
be
of
looking at.
lots of great things. Yeah.
And do you have a link to Kip's Bay on your website?
There's not. That's a real big mistake, probably. Yes.
You should get it because people need to see that room.
They do. They need to see it. You're right. It's all over Instagram, but you know.
But we
So,
need the $20 for Kip's Bay.
you what?
We need the $20 for
We
Kip's
need the
Bay.
$20. Go to Kip's Bay. Yes, yes. Anyway, so it's all the rooms are in my house, and it mentions that they're in my house. So you can buy the book, Glamorous Living, and you can see. And it has lots of fun old pictures of my family through the years. You know, skiing and doing all the fun things that people do, and never shows me working, which I do a lot. But I mean, yeah, there's no pictures of me working, but it's
Well, you know, that's what autobiography is. It's not always representative of everything, but it tells the reader a lot about you just by what you chose to include and what you choose to omit.
Yes,
You know,
right.
it's a key in and of
Right.
itself.
It is a key. Oh, by the way, there's a quote that I love from Gloria Vanderbilt that I put at the front of the book. I think India Hicks wrote the forward, and then in the
Love
introduction, I do too. In the introduction, I have a quote at the top. Decorating is autobiography.
I agree.
Which I thought was such a great quote, and I just had to include it. But anyway, so that's Hillsborough, and then there's a tennis court. It's like a little resort here. You know what I mean? It's like people come down here and do everything because there's not much else to do. So you want to have everything you want to do here.
Well, and that is a sign of the times.
That's right. Exactly. This is where I've stayed, I'd say 90% of the time during all this.
And now we realize what we need our houses to do for us.
Yes, we do. It's really important. Really important. I'm sitting in a sun porch that I love, where Jim and I usually eat dinner at night. And sometimes I work out here. It just depends on, what kind of mood I'm in. If I want to sit by the fire, I'm in the library. Anyway, and then Dallas is a townhouse, and it's a townhouse that this will be interesting to you. What is his name? Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. It was designed by a dean of Parsons, who is a friend of a designer in Dallas, who was building this house in 1970. And he designed this, and it looks just like a New York townhouse. That's what it looks like. And it's really cool. I'll think of his name in a minute.
And how long have you lived there?
20 years. Before that, we lived in another townhouse, and then we lived in a high rise. And we've always had a place in Dallas. And so
I love Dallas.
I do too. Dallas is great because Dallas is pretty easy. It's a pretty easy city to get
And
around.
some beautiful houses.
And there's some gorgeous houses. Yes, there are gorgeous houses. But this is really interesting. It's a muse. It's a gated community, and it's all been there since the early 70s and been restored, obviously. But it has a lot of character, and I really like it. It's on right on Turtle Creek.
Yeah.
You know Dallas.
I do.
Yeah. So it's right on Turtle Creek, and it has a beautiful courtyard, and so we like to be there too. It's great. Now,
how much time have you spent in Dallas during the past 6 months?
A fair amount. I mean, I've been there. We had a couple of installations I had to go to, that I had to actually go there for, wearing masks and everything. But also just mainly I've done all the work from my house and Zoom calls and all of that. So I've handled a lot of things remotely.
Yeah. When you're like on a normal day, when there's not a pandemic running through the world, do you go to the office every day?
No, I go to the, because I'm out and about and
See
traveling.
what?
I'm out and about and traveling a lot. And so, no, I do go to the office, at least 2 days a week, usually, and Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Those are the days I usually go to the office.
Because
Thursday, Friday.
I'm just wondering what I want to do in terms of like, what do I want my office like to look like? And
I know.
it's such an inflection point that we should all, my husband said the most amazing thing to me the other day, which just shows how great my husband is. He's the greatest. We woke up in the morning and he said, I want you to do it, because we were talking about offices and when to go, when not to go, what, changes. And he said, I want you to think about, this is such a perfect moment in time to do this, like to figure out exactly going, for the next 5 years, what do you want every day to look like?
Yeah.
What would be just the coolest?
Yeah.
Because I've spent so much time on airplanes, it's just like you don't even get a moment to reflect.
Me too.
So I thought it was such great, simple, obvious, but not obvious when you're not thinking, when you're not taking a moment. Like, what do you want each day or each week to look like?
Yes. And you know what? The airplane thing, it's so old. It gets so old. I don't know if it does to you, but it does. And if I can avoid that, I will. And until I don't want to not have wonderful jobs in faraway places. I
love travel per se.
But it was too much, right?
Yeah, because I was always trying to get home for the kids, so I do these aggressive day trips.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking there will be fewer day trips, but each trip when it happens will probably be overnight for a few days. Yeah. There'll be fewer but longer, so that you can get everything done because you're not going to come next week for a kamikaze trip.
Yes, exactly. Let me get right there. Something came down that. I agree.
So, because I'm telling you stories about my husband instead of focusing on you, my love. So it's Kips Bay. It's the book. What else is going on that people need to know about?
Well, let me think. Really, those are the two biggies that are happening in my life right now, other than what's happening at work. I would say that I want to urge everyone to still be cautious about this virus because it is virulent. And I'm now learning that more and more people who have it. And I think people are letting their guard down, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think we all need to keep our guard up. We've come this far. We need to, stay. Got to go a little further here. Yeah. We do,
and I think you and I and so many of our friends, we're so lucky to be involved in this kind of business because it's what will help people stay home.
Yes.
I don't mean grind to a halt. I mean, do what they've got to do, but do it from home.
Yeah, there's so much.
And be happy and filled with joy.
Yes, do it from home. And I'm perfectly happy to sit outside and eat. Now the weather's gorgeous. At home, there are a couple of places in Dallas that I feel comfortable going outside that are small and there are not many people there and you're spaced far apart. There are a couple of places, but I'm not going to sit inside anywhere.
Yeah. I was thinking that I need more bookcases at home because if I'm going to be there, I've got a very good design library at home. I usually buy 2 books and have one at the office, one at home. Yeah. But there are plenty of books that I don't have at home. And I need more bookcases because if I want to stay at home and have that reference library, which is so wonderfully unexpected because we've just gone through a decade of getting rid of bookcases. I mean, not me. I love bookcases, but since people are using physical books, they want bookcases less. They want, they're hanging their TV on the wall and they want a wall.
I know. I
So
know.
it's
Books,
exciting. It's exciting to have this reversal
it is. It
of
is.
bookcase love, because who doesn't love a library?
I agree. I agree. Totally. So I just think that's something I'd like to emphasize to everybody
Yeah,
is, you know, be careful. Be
be
careful.
careful.
And the thing is, some people have very mild cases, but the problem is it's like Russian roulette. You don't know who's going to have a bad case. That's,
Sure. We now have to give our children a test every week before, as you would hope.
yes,
They were tested before they began school,
I
and then
think
we have
so.
take-home
Right,
tests that
right,
we administer to them, which is
right.
great, because
Yeah,
if you're angry at your child, you can
yeah,
just stick a cotton swab up their nose.
yeah. Absolutely.
That'll show
Absolutely.
them.
Absolutely.
Um, Christian Spilling would like some book recommendations.
Oh, book recommendations. I'm reading the biography of James Baker now. I've always liked James Baker.
Mhm.
Uh, he and I are not always on the same page with who we're for, but he's a Texan, and I like biographies a lot. But I like a lot. I read all the time.
Do you read all the design books that come out?
Uh, Pretty much, I do. Certainly people that I admire. Yes,
I feel like there are a lot out right now.
there are. There's
There's
so
yours, there's
yeah,
Tara Shaw,
yeah,
there's Markham Roberts,
yes.
there's Christopher Spitzmiller. I think there's a big one that I'm forgetting. I feel like, yeah, there are a lot of books
Let me
that I was
think.
like, oh,
India has her book out on
India
Amazon.
has a new book.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I'm trying to think.
yeah, everyone should go into Amazon or go to well, you can't go to your bookstore, but you can go to your bookstore's websites.
Yeah,
And there are tons,
there's
like really a
tons.
burst of
Yeah.
great design books. Katie Ritter, thank you.
Yes, Katie Ritter.
Yeah, some really, really amazing. Oh, Mark Sykes, second one, thank you.
Mark Sykes.
Yeah, there's a big,
I've
it's a big
been
moment.
I've been with Mark, and his book is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. His room is beautiful at Tips Bay.
Of
His
course.
room, I knew it would be. It's
I
beautiful.
mean, there cannot be a dud in the bunch, I'm sure.
There really isn't. There really isn't. I'd give anything if you could see it.
In person, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
As I feel like Jamie Drake has made me look at the deadbeat, because we are both chairmen in New York, and he's such a good man. You know,
It's so much fun.
amazing.
Oh, Alexa, I thought about you because I know you and I both like to eat.
Yes.
And, oh gosh, Jamie.
Everybody thinks about me when they think of Eden Drake.
Well, you and but I do too. I mean, we remember the first time I think we met, we went to Ninfa's in Houston, that Mexican restaurant.
Ninfa's my fave.
I'll never forget that. Anyway, we had a ball. But Jamie took us to Yardbird. There's a new Yardbird in Dallas. And we ate outside. It was a big patio. There was no one around us. And Nazira was there, and my other two committee members were there, and Dan was there, and his wife from, Dan, Quintera. And anyway, so it was the best fried chicken. It was, I have to say, good, if not better, than the lady who worked for me for, I don't know, a blank number of years. I mean,
you mean your home?
I mean, it was that delicious, and I love fried chicken.
Oh my God, fried chicken is what definitely. I have a very extensive last meal,
Me
but
too.
fried chicken features heavily.
It's up there, baby. I'll tell you.
Do you know, I just tried, we've got 7 minutes left. I just tried chicken and waffles for the first time, like
How were they?
within the past year.
I've never done that. They have those at Yardbird. They have them at Yardbird.
I don't maple syrup it up because I'm not into maple syrup.
I'm not
But
either.
it was amazing. All I needed was some mashed potatoes to get more starch.
Yeah, the starch. You and I like salty, crunchy things.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like mushy though too. I think if I ever lose my teeth, I'll be fine. There's a lot of a lot of the foods I enjoy need no chewing.
Hilarious.
I'm thinking ahead.
Exactly.
Somebody else gave us another great book. Thank you so much, MB Studio Jupiter, Inside Marrakesh by Marianne Loom Martin.
great.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
haven't heard
for
of that. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I have not been looking at that because if I look at that, which
You'll
I'm
want to
not
travel.
supposed to, then I will not be able to think about what you're saying because I get
Oh,
distracted.
yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay, good. But I'm
Uh,
glad people are listening, watching.
yeah. Yeah. And thank you so much, Jan. Thank you for doing this again.
Oh,
If
of course.
somehow I screw this up, I just.
I don't think you screwed it up though, did you?
No, I think it was Instagram. I certainly hope it was. But wait, before we go, Casa Colado says she wants to know what inspires you or how do you bring your vision to life? So you get to pick which one you want to answer.
Oh, what inspires me? Um, Bringing my vision to life is an interesting question. I did that with the Kips Bay room, and I just love the way it looks.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I got it in my head. I saw the room in the house, and I wasn't going to do a room, but I kind of got talked into doing a room. And so I was given the study, which I really loved because it had great architectural
Yeah.
features, and I didn't have to do things that were horrible, like
Right, architecture.
ripping things out. Yeah, I didn't have to do that, which was good since I was chairing. So anyway, uh, I will tell you, there's two guys I have to call out: Chad Dorsey and Jonathan Moore. Those guys, you just cannot believe what they did. I mean,
I think
just,
I messaged Chad when
yeah,
I saw his
what he
like the
did.
floor and the rotunda and
The kitchen. That's Donovan.
I beg your pardon, that's Donovan.
Donovan, yeah. At the rotunda. The
Yeah.
rotunda was actually there, but he transformed it. But he transformed.
And I saw him doing the floor.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. He was there working nonstop, 24/7. I kid not. I kid you not. Anyway, but no, back to my inspiration. So I don't know. I thought this room would be a room Jackie Onassis would have gone in to write her notes and her letters because, you know, it's it's that kind of room. And I was going to make it into a ladies' study.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's kind of for me too. It's things I like. And I knew that there would be a fabulous 18th century something. And so I did an 18th century German chandelier that's to die for, in perfect condition, from Nick Rock and Dallas. Has great antiques. I did a Crossbringer beautiful parchment desk that's to die for from a dealer in Miami, Modern Epic. Gorgeous. I like working with him, by the way, if you're ever looking for something.
Yeah, please.
It was great. And then it just all, Kyle Bunting did the rug, which is one of my designs. And I decided to just go with that white cowhide because the room sort of felt like it needed it. And then I did some other things. I don't know. The art is very contemporary and it's by a wonderful artist, and it all came together, and it was just exactly what I envisioned it would be. I don't think that's answering that question, but
still, it's interesting to hear your process and like that. Sometimes we don't know if it's going to end up the way we hope.
I don't really.
Sometimes it has a life of its own, and it has a life does itself.
Yes, it has. This room to me actually did that. And I love the drapery fabric. It's Lodi Garden. Are you familiar with Lodi Garden? It's so gorgeous. No. Brunswick. You got.
Well, maybe I am. I don't remember the.
You know which one? I know. I don't. Well, I don't either.
Except for La Portuguese or.
I love that.
You know, Tiger Velvet. That's it.
Yes, exactly. This is a beautiful, deep aubergine background with all these funny little people on it that are doing all these hilarious things, like flying on flying carpets, and and they're all great colors, and it just sort of, and the walls are Benjamin Moore. They're one of our sponsors, and I think there's 5 coats on them, and when people walk in the room, that is all they want to know to begin with. Yeah. Is what is this paint?
Yeah.
and how many coats.
Oh, we're about to be cut off in 1 minute. If we are
Okay.
cut off, I want to say love you and thank you.
Love you. Bye, everybody.
This was
Bye-bye.
so much fun. Again, if you're
Charles
done.
Perkin, I'm saying hi to you. I do
Hi,
see your name.
Charles.
I love him.
He's amazing.
He's great. He's great.
So I'm sorry. Yes, it's 2:00, so we've got to hang up. Kisses.
Okay.
Love you. Thank
Love
you.
you. Let's talk soon. Bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye.